One of the benefits of living in different parts of the country is that you experience different cultures. While across the board people are similar in many ways, there are stark differences. Sports cultures are one such example. I have lived in Nebraska, Missouri, and Wisconsin, and while I lived in these three states, their favorite sports teams all won championships. The Cornhuskers brought Nebraska a national championship in 1997, the Cardinals won the World Series in 2006, and the Green Bay Packers won the Super Bowl in 2010. In Nebraska, just about everyone of every age was a Nebraska fan, and the city of St. Louis basically lived and breathed the Cardinals. And Wisconsin? Well, Packer fans were next level, bordering on idolatrous. I love you guys, but you know it's true. And I noticed something about all three of these cultures. They expected to win. And not in a hopefully someday, maybe this is the year kind of way. They expected to win now. And they expected the team to make the changes they needed to win. There was no negativity, just expectation. This has been the exact opposite of my experience with Vikings fans. And trust me, as a Vikings fan myself, I get it. Being a Vikings fan is like being a literary fan of tragedies or cinematic fan of dark comedies. And this reality has sunk deeply into the ethos of the Vikings fan base. My experience with Vikings supporters would be the fan equivalent of Eeyore. Oh, well, it's not much of a team, but I am attached to them. Or maybe this year, but probably not. It drives me crazy. I mean, I get it, and I fall into it just like everyone else, but it drives me crazy. I'm positive it's not helpful to the team culture or its aspirations. Cultures like these tend to feed upon themselves and destroy the good things that could be, and suck the joy out of the experience of being a fan. Sadly, this experience isn't just true in the sports world. This happens in every area of life. It happens in relationships, at our places of work, within church families and our families. And just like the Vikings fans, the constant negativity feeds upon itself, destroys good things, and sucks the joy that exists in the world. In the Roberts house, we have a way of trying to avoid this joy-sucking death spiral of blah. And when we get a little Eeyore about life, faith, or others, we have given each other permission to say to one another, going negative is a choice. When we look at the heart of these negative moments, we will discover a lack of trust in the Lord. While God does not promise that life will always be perfect or rosy, He does provide everything needed to live joyfully. I was visiting with the Wednesday morning adult Bible study, and my dear sister in Christ, Joanne Bukop, shared her strategy in these times. She said she often recites to herself Philippians 4:8, which says, "Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things." Her point? When the brokenness of this world is pressing in, turn to Jesus who is good and perfect. Think about Him and His victory and how He has made us His. This is wise guidance from our sister in Christ, and it sounds like Paul's personal witness in his second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 12, verses 10 and 11, where he says, "For the sake of Christ, then, I am content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I am weak, then I am strong, being strengthened with all power according to His glorious might, for all endurance and patience with joy." And Paul was strong, just not in himself, but in the Lord, who holds us firmly in His hands. Going negative is a choice, which flows from unbelief of the heart. And when we turn to negative thoughts and conclusions, we are turning to ourselves, not the hope won for us on the cross. When someone chooses to go negative, they can expect this decision to produce what unbelief inspires: bitterness, not joy. Going negative is a contradiction to the life we have been given in Jesus, and it's not necessary. As you reflect on the attitude of Christ, and as you pursue His mindset as your own, work on choosing His way. After all, going negative is a choice.